Come on, Lucy, where are you? Your microphone's not connected. Connect your microphone, Lucy.
Oh, okay. Let me.
How you doing? Oh, you haven't got your camera on. Hello. Good morning, folks. Good morning. Good morning, Lucy. How you doing? The microphone? Can you hear me? Yep, I can hear now. Yeah, can you hear me now? Okay.
Hear you, yeah.
Wonderful. Right, so we're going to go live in about 2 seconds, yeah?
Okay.
Are you comfortable?
Yeah, I just literally that second finished the training. I'm so sorry. And then I was like, oh my gosh, why has it gone on so long? And I haven't got any makeup on yet. I thought I had time to go put makeup on, but obviously.
Don't worry. The screen you're sitting in front of, is that a screen you're sitting in front of? What's behind you?
It's just my door.
It's your door. Okay, all right. Brilliant. All right. So I sent you the question, so nothing untoward, just have a conversation, all right?
Well, I haven't seen the question, so you might as well just ask them.
Who are you? What do you do? We'll talk about, the current climate and how people should be, should be operating on social media. What's the ethics behind it all? Yeah?
Yeah, sure.
All right. So, you comfortable?
Yeah, I'm fine. I'm good, thank you. Just how are you doing? You all right?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine. Just a bit nervous, but I'm fine.
Why are you nervous?
It's a one-man production, isn't it?
Yeah, don't be nervous. You'll be fine. What about me? I've got no makeup on.
You'll be okay. You'll be okay.
Makeup. Then I thought I'll quickly run and put some makeup on before this. I didn't have time, so welcome to the real me.
Okay, we're going live.
Hey.
You are listening to the Message Talk Show and Podcast. Do you believe you have something to share? Do you believe you have something to contribute? Do you have a story to tell the world, to share with your community? Gandhi said, man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So join us on the Message Talk Show and Podcast with host Alex Gordon. Good morning, folks. Good morning. Yes. Good morning, Lucy Hall. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Fine, doing well. In the current climate, doing okay. Can't complain. Yeah.
No.
Stuck at home, of course, working from home, but that's a positive on one side. So today we have with us Lucy Hall. Let me just read her profile from LinkedIn. So Lucy Hall is the founder of Social Daily, the Digital Woman, a Viviso Media, the She Means Business, and Facebook Blueprint lead trainer. That is amazing. So how are you today?
I'm well, thank you. I literally just stepped off of a Blueprint training session.
Wow.
Like literally this second. So
that's amazing.
If tiredness doesn't seem so good, then sorry.
Well, with such a busy schedule and a large community to serve, then hey, things will get hectic from time to time. Am I right?
Well, yeah, I've got 2 kids at home because it's working. I've got like an 8-year-old that can swim in any time.
So that's amazing. So you're running the business, family to look after, and you're managing it all. That's amazing. So let's start with Lucy. Who are you, Lucy? Who are you? No. You remember when I interviewed you a few years ago? Do you remember that interview?
Yeah.
1 minute. I have a clip from that. Let me just.
Oh my God.
No, it was a great clip. It was a great clip. Let me just bring in a section of that just for 2 seconds. Is that okay?
Yeah, go for it. It's fine. Where is it? Oh, here it is. Oh my gosh. That's so funny.
Hey.
Swear. I think that's straight in it.
Right, so you've been building a network from some time now.
Yeah, that's right.
That's when I caught you in central London. I think it was near Liverpool Street.
Yeah, that's right. That was at Social Day, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was before Social Day. That one was before Social Day, and then you invited me to Social Day. That was, I think, at NatWest Bank or somewhere.
Oh wow, that was like a Kickstart event or something like that.
That was an amazing day for me, and then coming to Social Day. So let's start with you then, Lucy. Tell us about yourself.
Okay, so my name's Lucy, obviously, and I have a business called Viviso Media. So I'm an agency owner, and we are a team of 5, and we work with kind of like different brands to help them with their content, especially financial services and event brands and that kind of thing. And we help them with event marketing as well. But the other part of the business that we run is an events business. So we have our Event Social Day, which is UK's best social media festival. We have some of the biggest social networks and brands that come and speak to inspire social media marketers and marketers to do better, create better content, and give them case studies and that kind of thing. Wow. And then, like just last year, we created Digital Women, which is a community set up to empower 1+ million women through digital skills.
Wow.
And we're almost at 3,000 members in our Facebook group in the past year. We've had two conferences with 500 people between the 2 in attendance, and we just did an awards as well in London just before the whole COVID-19 thing kicked off. We was due to have another event on the 20th of March with about 250 people there as well, but we had to obviously postpone it. And now we just kind of set up a membership community for those women who want to get more support in digital and that kind of thing. And then I'm also a Facebook Blueprint lead trainer. So at the moment, just helping people for businesses for free to learn all about the different things that they can do to get online at this like really difficult time.
Where do you find the time for all of what you just
And I've got 2 kids as well, 8 and 3.
That is amazing. So you've been in social media for quite some time now.
Yeah, but so I had my first business when I was about 18, and then it was all online. So I learned really quickly how to use like digital and online and that kind of thing. And it was about 10 years ago now, nearly, that I set up another online business and started to help other people with social media who didn't quite get it and didn't quite realize that social media is like the next big thing. And it is, isn't it? Like, well, 10 years
now we know. So what triggered your interest? What was it that triggered your interest from such an early age?
Well, so I was literally brought up on a market stall. My family are all small business owners, antique dealers, market traders, shop owners, and that kind of thing. So every weekend I was on the market stall with my dad, even from like kind of 5 years old, or even less than that. So that's all I knew. It was about helping my family, business and sales and that kind of thing. And as soon as I got a computer and the internet and that kind of thing at home, and like eBay and all of these websites started to come out, I just was like, right, I can actually take your products and sell them online now.
Wow.
When I think before you know it, I was kind of like bringing in about £10,000 a month revenue online, trying lots of different things, no plan really, just kind of like, let's try and do this. And then from there I became obsessed and I literally loved it.
Wow.
And taking those skills and honed them. And then I worked in media for a few years and in a specialist media company and also at Jazz FM, and which really helped me to understand media and audiences and that kind of thing. And so when I left, I was like, right, I'm going to help people with social media. I'm going to help businesses with social media. This is, that's why I did it, because I just know that the impact that the internet can have on a business, like digital can have.
Yeah, but you're talking about almost 10 years ago, catching this vision from so far. Now, where we are today,
longer than that. Like, so 2000 and I think 2002 was when I set up my eBay business.
Wow, that's amazing, because to catch it from that length of time and just to hang in there with it, to educate yourself about what's out there and make it happen, that is tremendous. That is tremendous now. And for us to arrive where we are now, in the midst of everything that's going on, and everyone's gone online in like 48 hours, 64 hours. In one space of a month, every man's online. This is amazing to see what's happening. But from a social media perspective, now we know everyone's online, but is there some sort of rules that govern the way people operate online, especially in social media?
Yeah, I mean, do you mean like in terms of that, do you mean, is there rules on how people should like post content, or how should they?
Yeah, post content, how they interact with each other.
So, as a business owner, for example, I just I feel like it's really important that people understand when they are using social media that this place is a public place to put their voice out to the world. So, just like you would in the real world, don't go out talking about politics or, things that are really going to rile people up or upset them, because the problem is when a lot of people get onto social media and they think that they can just say things that they wouldn't necessarily say in real life. And this can really upset other people. And if you're a business, this is not going to look good on you. This is going to look really bad. So it's really important that you actually think of it as a marketing tool if you're using it as a business, and not a tool for, spouting out the things.
Emptying what's in your head. Yes, I understand that.
Exactly. So planning ahead and understanding that social media is a great marketing tool and a great way to create conversations with customers, and not a place to kind of put out your things that upset you, or do you know what I mean?
But not everyone has that kind of marketing approach. They're not, you imagine someone having a 9-to-5 job or starting a business very early. They haven't got that approach for marketing. So then to just dive into social media and have all these protocols, what do?
They need to just understand. They need to go and learn and get training. So like at the moment, I'm doing that free training, like you heard, that Facebook Blueprint League training, and it just teaches you a lot of the foundations and fundamentals of things that you should be doing, like thinking about your value proposition, looking at what it is that you're offering people, so that when you're creating content, it all matches that. Does that make sense? And when and how do you create that content? That's another thing. Like look out for free courses and that kind of thing. Teach you how to do it from your mobile phone in the lowest possible cost way to start with. And then also the other thing is just having a plan. And there's loads of plans free out there on the web that you can just print out, and you can write down your ideas for content and that kind of thing. Because if you're just putting content out there all over the place without thinking about it, it's messy and it's not going to meet your objectives, and also it doesn't fit with your message. And you're about mastering your message, right? If your message is right and you know your value proposition, that is what you should be aiming all of your content, everything you talk about around. It's not about, oh, I'm really peed off with Richard Branson or Sainsbury's or whatever it is. It's about, you know, what you do to help your customers.
But sometimes I believe people get emotional when they're putting their stuff out, and sometimes instead of thinking very clearly before they type, they just instantly just start posting without thinking about it. So what you were saying earlier about having a plan for your social media is so important.
Yeah, just having that plan, understanding who your audience and your customers are, because your customers aren't your mates, right? Mates, so you can't, you know, like slag people off to your customers and stuff. It's going to leave a bad taste in their mouth. Right. You have to talk about things that are going to solve problems for your customers and make a plan around that sort of content that you're going to put out. What sort of, you know, is it helpful? Is it educational? Is it insightful? Think about it. Is this going to solve a problem for my customers? And then you put that sort of content out.
Well, because the web is so big and there's so much stuff out there. There's so much stuff. People are confused as to who to follow, who to listen to, who to talk to. Where do I start?
Yeah.
That's a big question.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so if people are just getting started online with social media, facebook.com/blueprint has got loads of free training courses. It literally takes you from the fundamentals up to really shows you loads of case studies as well. Do you know what? Right. It's really important that you see what other people have done. Because people can talk about, oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, but where's the case study? Where's the backup for this? With the blueprint, it shows you all of the different case studies. There's people who run groups on Facebook at the moment, which have amazing support, absolutely free, which is showing you exactly what it is that you need to do and that kind of thing. And I think that's really, really important to make sure you're following trusted people that are going to give you good advice, rather than people who are just trying to snatch money from you.
Right. So that's on facebook.com/blueprint. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, one of the things I came across this week was people who had online businesses were now feeling very uncomfortable because of the uncertain times we're in, and they're questioning whether they should be still selling online.
Well, okay. So people are worried about selling online
because of what's happening now, because everyone's at home and the state of the economy, they feel very guilty as you know, to keep pushing their stuff right now.
Okay, so I think it's always okay to sell products, but the message has to change. Okay, so now we're coming out with content that has more empathy attached to it. You have to care about your customers. People will know if you care about them or not. You still have to keep trading, okay? But in terms of blatant promotional selling on social media, that's not the right thing to do anyway. You should be educating people, informing them on social media. You're building up connections and community so that you can get those people to trust you and want to buy from you in the future or buy from you now. What you're not doing is saying, buy my thing, buy my thing, buy my thing on social media anyway. So actually not much has changed in that way.
Right.
But what has changed is, the fact that people aren't necessarily in that buying space for products. But everybody's online right now.
Correct. That's correct. That's true.
So don't stop marketing. This is the time to not stop marketing, but it's time to start communicating. So talking to your customers, building a community, building empathy, letting them know that you care about them, giving them like free offers or anything that you can do to make them feel like they can trust you. Does that make sense?
No, that makes 100%.
Yeah. You go.
A few years ago, I came across this concept of the know, like, and trust.
Yeah.
And that's so important that people, when they get to know you, they have to know, like, and trust you. But in order for them to know, like, and trust you, I was told it takes about, 16, 17, 20 connections before people really get used to you. What do you think?
Yeah, something like that. I think, it's really important that that's why it's so important that you're consistent in your messaging. You're consistent with social media and your marketing and your communications, because people will be seeing you and they'll be seeing you time and time again. And if you are giving them good information and you're helping them and that kind of thing, they're more likely to trust you, aren't they? Whereas if the first thing they see from you is buy my thing, that's it, you're gone. It's over for you, isn't it?
That's correct. That feels like just being in the market and the people just jumping at you, buy my stuff all the time. That's amazing. Now, the other thing that's been happening as well is people's approach to putting their messaging out. Now, it was only about 2 months ago that I came across TikTok.
Yeah.
And I was thinking, what the hell is TikTok? And it was my son that brought, that triggered my interest in TikTok when I went and had a look. So there's so many platforms out there, and you're thinking, but what do I use all these platforms for? I mean, I stick to Facebook because, okay, I can handle it. But there's TikTok, Instagram blowing up as well. What do you think people should be using primarily?
Well, it depends what your business goals are. It all comes back to your business goal. Who's my target audience? Okay. So we know that TikTok is starting to age up now anyway, because if you look, all the mums are on there, and, older people are going onto TikTok. It's not just for the kids anymore. Just like Snapchat aged up. Everything ages up. Eventually, all my friends are on TikTok now. I've even got a TikTok account, and I've been doing some silly things on there. But actually, there's no right answer for this. The answer is, where are my target audience? Can I create content for TikTok for my business that is going to attract the right customers? That's a question that you can ask yourself. Or should I be using an agency to do that if my audience is on there? And if it's Instagram, like, can you create content for Instagram that's going to attract people? You have to just sit down and work it out. Like, you don't just jump on there and go, right, bang. It's planning. It's understanding who's my audience, what is my value proposition, what are my goals for my business, going back to the basics, starting from there, putting a plan together and saying, right, I will try TikTok. Does it work for me? No, I'm not going to do it for the moment then. I'm going to leave it. Does that make sense?
No, that makes sense.
I'll be consistent on Instagram. I'll do all of the things that I'm supposed to do on Instagram to build a following, and also to build the right connections, find the people that matter most to my business. And if it works, I'll keep doing that. If it doesn't work, I won't keep doing that. Social media at its core is about test and learn. Test and learn.
So when you say if something works, how do you know it works?
Because that's why a plan's so important, because you have a goal, you set a goal. Okay, if you reach that goal, it's worked. If you don't reach that goal, it hasn't worked. What can you do to tweak it to reach that goal? That's how you know if it's worked or not, just by setting a goal. That's
amazing. So we're in this pandemic time, and you talked about empathy, talking with empathy. Drill that down a bit, because if I'm used to just going on and blurbing all the time, and now you're asking me to talk with empathy, what do you really mean I should be including in my content?
I think you should be having more of an understanding of what your audience are going through at the moment. They're not in that inspirational phase of buying at the moment. A lot of them are just in that kind of survival stage. Am I going to get paid? Can I eat? It's a different situation for many people at the moment, and everybody's having a different kind of experience with this. Not everybody's having the same experience, but what I would say is, it's hard. It's a hard time. So you have to understand with that. The only way you're going to be able to connect with your audience is to understand what they're going through and have empathy and understanding for that. If you're going, you should be, now that we're in lockdown, you should be getting out there and doing more and, getting six pack, getting abs and I have never had less time, because I have 2 children at home and I'm running a full-time business, like 2 full-time businesses. most people are having that problem. They're working from home. They've got less time. You can't suddenly learn a new skill. You can't suddenly become a fitness freak because you don't, unless maybe you've been furloughed, and maybe you've got issues with your mental health at the moment because you can't go out and you're a very sociable person. We have to understand that and have empathy for everybody's situation. You can't just be like, oh, buy this because it'll make you better. Actually, how about, let me understand what's wrong with you or what your problem is at the moment, and let me just try and help you to get through it.
Yeah, that's key. Identifying that key problem, and where the pain is really, where the pain is. So but what amazed me this week was that veteran that was walking around his house.
Oh, I just watched him this morning.
Oh my God!
And I was booing my eyes. He just got a Pride of Britain award.
Oh my God! Was it 24 million he's raised? Is it 2.4 million or something like that?
What he's raised? No, he's raised 30 million.
30 million. Oh my God!
Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. That's amazing. I saw him walking around the house. I'm thinking, I'm any minute now he's going to faint, or he's not strong enough to do what he's doing. But it just shows when someone puts the grit in and say, right, I'm going to do this, and they push themselves. It's amazing. And we also see the NHS staff putting stuff out. It's if we didn't have social media right now, we would have been in total isolation.
Yeah, of course.
Crazy.
Yeah,
we would have gone crazy right now.
Yeah, definitely.
So I agree with everything you say. I agree with what I really like the stuff that you're talking about. So what do you see as the future now? Now we're here now. What's next? What's next with social media? What do you think?
I mean, if I knew that, I'd be the richest.
Well, it's not. There's probably some trends out there that we're not. Well, people like myself don't really see.
I'll tell you what it is. I believe that it's all about communities. So a lot of people don't understand this. They think build an audience, get my message out to people. Build an audience, get my message out. Building a community is the single best thing that you can do today. Having a space where you can get like-minded people together who matter to you and your business, that you can help, that you can talk to on a daily basis in a closed space, a real community. Everybody feels like they're connected together. It's not all about you. It's about the shared interest or the shared problems of that community. And that is where we're going, and that is the place that you want to be now, or the thing that you want to start doing now is building a community that you can nurture and bring together. Take yourself out of it. It's not all about you. It's about the community. And I think it's the most powerful thing right now. And just look at Facebook, the amount of groups that have popped up.
Yeah.
You can see the community spirit from neighborhood level to international, global level, the way that people are getting together around causes to help each other. Whether it be mums in business, or for example, I have digital women, or if it's the local, the local Shoreditch residents group, for example. Community is important.
Never a better thing said. We're really crossing boundaries now. We're crossing, and people seem not to be scared anymore to cross the boundaries. And to go to hook up in America, New Zealand, Australia, it's just so amazing what's happening. And through this time, although it's a very painful time, we've really seen people at their best. We're seeing people come out at their best. Some horrible things have happened, but we're seeing people at their best. And especially what you talked about, that community spirit. Now, let me just hold you one more question. And it's something that you said earlier about using a digital agency. Why would it be of benefit to use a digital agency to help you with your marketing and getting your stuff out?
Okay, so look, I'm a huge advocate. If you're just starting out and you don't have much budget, you can do this yourself. There's loads of swaps that you can use. There's loads of different tools that you can use. I don't know if you just saw that I recently shared a image that says these things shouldn't hold you back, right? So if you want to start a business, you think you need a custom built website, but actually you could use a Facebook page to start with and swap it for that. Or you think you need branding and a logo and that kind of thing. Well, actually, when you start out, you don't need that. You just need to use Canva. You can create something very simple on there. And then when it comes to taking photographs for products or, you know, of yourself and that kind of thing, you can learn online how to do this with your mobile phone and get the photos good enough. And it's a fact that you can now. You can do that. A mobile phone is an amazing camera in your hand, especially like the iPhones and Samsung phones and things that you get nowadays. So you can swap all of this when you're starting out and do it yourself. When it gets to the point that you're making enough money and you want to bring in expert advice and you want somebody to do it for you, because your time is spent more on the business operation side of things, then it's time to bring in an agency or an expert to do it for you, who can then scale it up further.
Wow, that's
that they have years and years of experience in marketing, and they can help you to scale your business even further.
The one thing I did find was that for anything you want to ever do, there's a video on YouTube.
Oh, exactly, and on Facebook, in groups, YouTube.
But sometimes I think people just don't have the time, or they think, oh, it's too much to watch these videos.
No,
therefore,
when you're starting out, learn, do it yourself, so that you can also brief an agency later. You know, you need to understand how it works. So if you do need to do something with an agency or an expert later, you can brief them. You can say, I want this, and I know how it works. Don't pull the wool over my eyes. That's what's important to learn when you're starting out. Because you do so much of the stuff when you're starting out. You do your own accounts, you know, you do. But then it gets to a point where you're like, right, actually now I can invest in my business and take it to the next stage.
Wow. So from building your social media business and the social days and the social community that you built, is there anything that you'd have done differently?
I'll tell you I know, and I've made loads of mistakes, but I feel like, and I've done loads of things wrong, and I've said things wrong and everything else, but I feel like without those experiences and those failures, you don't know, like you don't know what you don't know. So if you make mistakes, I think you can learn from them. So I wouldn't change anything, funnily enough. And as you go through all the hard times, you think, oh, we should have done this differently. But actually, if you've done it differently, you don't learn.
So what you're saying then, failure is a learning tool.
Of course it is. Of course, it's the only way to learn. If you're not everything, it's just impossible. You're not going to start up and it's going to be perfect. So if anybody says, here's the blueprint to making sure you run a business and it's perfect, it goes like this, they are just bullshitting you. You should tell someone who can do that, because it's not true. There are problems. Business have problems. Possibly we're going through the biggest problem at the moment for many businesses right now. No one could plan for that.
Correct.
Okay. And it's just, you know, you learn from it. So people will learn from this experience and maybe come out from it stronger when they start again. Or if their business has gone in this period, that when they start again, they'll understand what happened this time, and they'll be able to factor in some kind of contingency plan for if something like this does happen.
Yeah, I think now everyone's probably got some sort of contingency in their head right now, thinking, okay, if something major happened again, this is how I would operate. Because
I've had that before.
Well, it's probably some organizations probably had some plans, but not as drastic as this.
Yeah,
sorry?
Exactly. Yeah, of course they do. Some people have their plans. You know, some people do it, you know, planning for the future. One of the best ways to do that is making sure that you have good cash flow, obviously. But a lot of businesses don't do that. It's just the way it is.
But the one thing I'm thinking now is that if a lot of organizations have been able to deploy staff to work from home and they get through this period, it is now evident that they don't need as much office space.
Correct.
As they've got. Is that correct?
And completely. 100%.
So there's going to be a massive shift when we go back to work, when we go back into, you know, the spaces that we normally occupy.
Yeah.
That's 100%. Amazing.
So different. Like, you can do it. It can be done. The world's going to change so much because people know they don't need to just pop out to the shop to get this or that. You know, we can live and have a good life without having to go into the office every day, or, you know, having the stress of all of the different things that go with the craziness of life when you're locked down like this. The rat race.
That's what it is. That race.
They've been 2 or 3 hours a day on travel, weren't they?
But I listened to some people, was it last week or this week, talking about how being at home has helped them so much with their family interacting with their family, able to sit and eat together, able to do so many things around each other.
Yeah.
That's made such a difference to their lives.
100%. I mean, it's so good, isn't it? Like, I've really enjoyed having more time with my little girls, and I don't miss the school run because I find it stressful, sitting in traffic, like trying to get everyone ready on time, and no one wants to get ready. I don't miss that, but that is coming back, obviously, probably first. But it's been a great time to kind of relax a bit, and like not worry about them getting ready by like 7:30 in the morning, just, like maybe getting up at 8 instead.
No, I've got routines. I can't do that. I've got routines. 6:30, 6:30 in the morning, I have to be up. I can't stay in bed. My brain is just ticking away. So I've got to get up and go and start thinking, start looking at and having reflections with myself. I can't just lie in bed.
Well, that's good for you. I'm more of a night owl. Like when the kids have gone to bed, I'm like, right, work.
Right. Okay. All right. Lucy, it's been amazing having this conversation with you and talking to you about, the growth of social media, what you've been doing with yourself. And so have you got any conferences coming up next year, towards the end of the year?
So 1st to the 3rd of September is Social Day. Digital Women will be postponed until later in the year as well. So Social Day is a 3-day social media marketing festival. And just, in the meantime, there's a lot of online stuff going on. Like we're on an event coming up on the 7th of May, Digital League Day, which is all about search and conversion. And
all about
search and conversion. It's called
Search and Conversion.
Yeah, it's an online one, and it's like I think £45 or something. And then obviously I've just started the Digital Women membership, which means that women are going to get live networking every 2 weeks with each other, as well as a whole host of other videos and really great content to help them with their businesses and that kind of thing. £7.50, I think, a month or something like that. That's
helpful. That's helpful.
That's really helpful, yeah.
That's really helpful.
So that everyone could, be part of it,
Okay. Well, I was going to ask if you've got a final word, but man, you've given so much today. You've given so much content. But is there a sentence, a strategy that you want to leave people with?
Build community. Be there for community, and have empathy for people who are going through a hard time at the moment. And don't think about pushing and selling products all the time. Think more about communicating with your audience and making them want to trust you.
Amazing. It's been a great pleasure having you today. It's just amazing what you've been doing and everything you're talking about. And I just wish you the best for the future. And I'll be tracking you all the time. I'll be watching you all the time, seeing where you're up to. And
I'll be watching you.
So I'm just going to close out the show now. Don't disappear. Don't go away. Let me just close out the show now. You are listening to the Message Talk Show and Podcast. Do you believe you have something to share? Do you believe you have something to contribute? Do you have a story to tell the world, to share with your community? Gandhi said, man often becomes what he believes himself to be. If you think you can, you can. If you think you can't, you can't. So join us on the Message Talk Show and Podcast with host Alex Gordon. And today we're talking about how can we help people? How can we help people in where they are, starting from where they are? And I wrote a book about a few years ago, and today I'm giving away a copy, an ebook version of this. What is your dream? It's something I talk about, I speak about all the time, and I'm putting a link in the group somewhere for you to download an e-copy of What is Your Dream? Because you've got to start somewhere. You've got to reassess where you are. You've got to reassess the future and do something, probably, if you can call it a new path, create a new path for yourself, create a new way of working. So guys, thank you for joining me today. Thank you for having this conversation with Lucy Hall and myself. And I look forward to seeing you again next week, Thursday morning, 11 o'clock. Tune in. Don't leave me on my own. Please don't leave me on my own. You know what it's like when you're running a show and you're on your own. Now, what I didn't do was the comments. We did have some comments in today. Let me see who. Oh, nice. Andrew Umawat. He came and said, thank you, Andrew, for following us. So, guys, thank you so much. And we're closing.
Thank you. Bye.